Yo, 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 here we go. We back in it again. Mr. Lee, what's going on, man?
Down.
Hey, man, 2020 a year, huh?
Hey, man, 2020 is a motherfucker right now.
Just wild stuff, man. You know, I tell everybody we started off with Kobe dying, then next thing you know, you got Corona pop off, and then you got the protests pop off, and then, you know what I'm saying, diss tracks popping off.
Man. Hey, I guess I'm part of the rap game now.
I guess so, but I guess that's a step in the rap game. When your name start getting mentioned in the song, that means you know you ruffling some feathers. You stamp. I'm looking forward to the day I get dissed in the record. You know what I mean?
It could be big.
Yeah.
There you go. So now, right now, you know what I'm saying, Mr. Lee, we know you definitely a legend in the game. And so then, Drew, kind of tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah, man, I've been in the business managing producers, artists for over 20 years now.
Okay.
I've been associated with Lee. From a brother business standpoint, it's been about 13, 14 years, man. So it's truly the cliche deeper than rap.
Yeah.
So I've touched it all from guys to Twisted Black. I've done radio rep work for Priority. You know,
Okay.
Man, I've been out here a while doing it. Been doing it a while. Managing a lot of DJs as well.
Okay. So I'm happy to have a chance to meet you. I guess on some unfortunate terms right now.
Good.
It's good.
It depends on how you spin it.
It's all good.
Okay. So I don't know. I've been watching the Vlad interview, and Zero, of course, come up. I thought it was probably one of the best interviews I've seen.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying, on Vlad. Definitely some insight. Him getting tucked in by Pimp C. I thought that shit was hilarious.
Yeah, definitely.
But it's crazy to get a song and hearing Mr. Lee, you getting dissed in the song. Mr. Lee, you my man, but you a bitch. How can you even have those two in the same sentence?
I mean, me and Real like family, so I get it. You know what I mean? I understand. I know he in his feelings or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I can get why he said that, because me and Ro go way back. When I first moved to Houston, Ro was the first artist besides the producer Beto that I met when I first got there.
Got you.
Yeah.
So
we go way back.
So what would make Zero even come out and throw a slug like that?
I think some people just not used to doing business, and they take doing business as somebody having the upper hand, or you know, trying to force them to do different things and whatnot. But that ain't what it is.
But him being in the game so long, people would look at Zero as an OG. People would look at Zero as definitely a legend in Texas. Why don't you think he has it already? Like the business acumen now?
I think that he has it. I just think that, you know, me, myself, the statue that I carry, I'm humble, meager. You know, I don't really flex my muscle. I can if I wanted to,
right?
But I don't. You know what I mean? This is the second time that I've heard records with my name in it. And this is the first time I'm really just saying anything about it. Because, you know, to me, I live by the old law, bro. If I got family issues with somebody that's family, I'm going to handle that with them. I'm not going to get on a record or get on social media and talk about it and do all of that. You know, I try to live by the old law.
Got you. So you moved to Houston. Zero was one of the first artists to start working with. Like, give me a little bit of insight. How did you meet Zero? What was your relationship like?
I had a real good relationship with this R&B singer named Chad Jones, and his cousin Mickey lived about probably like a quarter mile down the street from me. I used to stay on Beach Nut on the southwest side, and Zero used to be at Mickey's house all the time off Boom. So I used to be able to walk out to Mickey's house. Mickey had a studio, and I used to work over there with him and everything like that. And Zero used to be there a lot. So that's where I met him at.
Okay. And so you mean Zero, what was it about you that gravitated you towards him as an artist?
I mean, he was talented from day one when I met him. You know what I mean? The dude could rap. He could make beats. A lot of people don't really know Zero's a producer, too. So, you know, he was talented, man. You know, so it was just a blessing just to even be around.
Okay.
Really.
So y'all, you meet him, you hang out, you see his talent, and y'all start working. Any personality traits about him that threw up red flags from the beginning?
Nah, I mean, most people that's super talented like Ro, they gonna have their quirks, you know, with their personalities. They're not gonna want to hang around a lot of people. Most of them are antisocial and different shit like that. So I expected that. You know what I mean? I have my own quirks too. You know, I don't like being around a lot of people all the time. So, you know, people have trust issues. When you a commodity like that, you got a lot of people reaching out to you and different shit like that. So, you know, I get it.
Got you. I got you. Okay, so y'all start working. So fast forward, now that the word is Zero was paid to do an album and a mixtape by you, correct?
Correct. First thing was I hollered at him and we agreed to do a mixtape. So, you know what I mean? I would take care of business with Ro, you know what I'm saying? I don't ask him for nothing, none of that type of shit. So when we sat down to talk about the mixtape, I told him, I pay him X amount of dollars, how much would it cost? He gave me the price. I paid him for it. He came to my house and gave me the files, and it was good. We were good on that. So later, once I started working with the mixtape, I hollered back at him. I said, yo, man, I got a position where I can put some money in your pockets, you know what I'm saying? You say you're fresh off Rap A Lot and everything else. So look, I got this situation. I can put some dollars in your pocket. We can make something happen and hopefully grow from it and make a dope situation out of it. So he agreed to take a meeting with me and my partner, and we agreed to sign it. We got the paperwork drawn up, and we signed him to a $200,000 deal.
Okay, so 200,000. Okay, so y'all commence. Now, do y'all give a time frame of when these things have to be turned in? How does that work?
Well, basically, I think in the paperwork, it was probably once we commenced to the deal, we had like 4 to 6 months to release a record.
Okay.
And what we did, in normal circumstances, you'll get $50,000 up front and then another $50,000 when you turn the album in. So being that this was a longtime friend of mine, he wanted a car. So we agreed to give him a Bentley. And I think the balance on the Bentley was like $20,000, $22,000 or some shit like that. And I gave him $50,000 in cash. Being that I've been knowing him so long, I was like, here, bro, here's the car. I'm gonna go ahead and give you all your money. I know you're gonna, drop me the records or whatever. We good. In normal circumstances, I would have just gave him half of the money or the car, and then gave him half of the money after he finished, if it was anybody else. So I did that. I drove to Houston, dropped off the Bentley, gave him $50,000 in cash, and probably like a week after, I found out that he was still signing Rap A Lot.
Damn.
So he indeed had a release paperwork saying that he was no longer a Rap A Lot artist, but he failed to disclose that he had a joint venture deal with Rap A Lot at his record label. So he was still entitled to a recording agreement with Rap A Lot when he signed the paperwork with me, which, it was pretty devastating when I found that out. And being that I vouched for him and, all this money's passing hands. So I ended up having to take a meeting with Jay Prince. And when I took the meeting, it kind of made things indifferent between me and him. And then it was like he didn't want to do anything. He started shutting down, didn't want to get on the phone. We passing words over text messages, all this kind of shit. Then, niggas do that shit when they mad. So, okay, cool. You know what I mean? So as it went further, then it was like, okay, I'm not finna do the album. I'm not finna do this and that. And there was problems with the car. We had issues. We had to get our car back and all this kind of stuff. So it just led to a big mess. So even when I put out the mixtape, it was so indifferent that he even got on social media and is like, hey, y'all just download this shit for free. Mm-hmm. Bootleg and do whatever you're gonna do. I ain't supporting this shit. I ain't doing nothing with it, blah, 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 blah. It's like, hey, bro, man, you signed a deal with us. We handled our end of the bargain. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't get mad at me because you got a whole nother situation over here and we involved in it now because you put us in it. You know what I'm saying? Jay Prince's family, Jay Prince is the reason I'm doing what I'm doing today. Him, Big Chief is like a father figure to me. You know what I mean? So having that relationship, I was able to move past it, but the physical copies of the album and everything else, we had to, pass that over to Rap A Lot. So we lost a lot of money.
So, so let's go back then. So why would Zero necessarily get mad about the joint venture and you actually talking to Jay Prince?
I don't know if he had issues with Rap A Lot at the time of what was going on, but I know how Ro is, and if he got some type of indifferent situation with somebody and he see you with him, then you instantly turn into the problem or the enemy too.
Okay.
So I got that part of it. I was even to the point where, okay, bro, you ain't finna give me the album. I got the car back. I'm just gonna put the mixtape out. I'm gonna cut my ties with it and we good. I never even brought it up, man. This is something that I've been holding on to since 2013. So if I really wanted to put it out there with everything that I have, all the proof that I got, I could do it.
So what year was the mixtape and the deal actually signed in?
In 2013.
So 2013 was what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to understand the Bentley side of it. So you get him a Bentley. What does this mean? Like you put a down payment on the Bentley and drop that off?
He put up a down payment on the Bentley. The guy that, my partner, King Sean, my homie.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He had a car dealership at the time too.
Okay.
So he knew that. I had a drop top Bentley. Sean had a Bentley, and he had an extra Bentley left that he had, where it was actually his personal Bentley.
Okay.
So he was getting out of it, and Ro wanted it. So he told us like, yeah, I can get the car to you, whatever. So Ro decided, he said, well, take $50,000 and put it towards the car, and I'm gonna make the payments for a year so I can just get done with the car. It was like $20,000 left on the car. But in the midst of the deal, the Cardinals stopped getting paid and different shit like that. And it was already stressed because we wasn't getting the album. He wasn't communicating with us. We were having to talk to third parties. And mind you, while this was going on, prior to that, we had flew him out to Atlanta, paid for everything, flew him to LA, or they drove to LA. We paid for everything. Everything that we were supposed to handle, we was handling.
So these going to these different spaces, are he going here to record or he going here to, okay.
Yeah, we was handling our business, you know what I mean? So we were handling our end of the bargain all the way 100%. So, you know what I'm saying? When we got to this point, when the car came up, the car was set really like outside of the deal. It was just basically, okay, I made this deal. I'm gonna get $50,000 to this car. That's what I want. When he stopped making the payments or the payment wasn't coming on time, my partner owned the dealership. His dealership was handling all of the business with that. So they called and was like, yo, car not getting paid. We're gonna let it slide one more month. We're gonna get a payment. We're gonna go pick the car up. Gotcha. They didn't get the payment, they picked it up. It wasn't like I said, okay, well, nigga, you're not doing the album for me and all this shit, so I'm just gonna pick the car up. Gotcha. On no petty shit like that.
So it was just him not handling his part of the deal again. Okay. So then we come to the mixtape. He just throws the mixtape out there. So
no, I put the mixtape out. Okay. My company put it out. We put it out, and we just, you know, we dressed it like it was an album and everything else. But we got zero support. We didn't get no support. You know what I mean? We didn't get nothing. He basically bashed the album. It's not real. It's not a legitimate bootleg it, do whatever you're going to do. This is stuff that we was having to deal with. But mind you, even though the car was taken, it was still $50,000 in cash for an album that we didn't get. That's number one. Then it was another $10,000 that we paid him for that project that we actually put out. And then it was about $20,000, $30,000 more that we paid on expenses, taking him from one city to the next. And then it was another $10,000 that we paid for promotions that we really didn't get. Damn. So it's like all of this money passing out. And then you get up and do that. And not one time did I call him and say, yo, the money back. You ain't do this. I didn't have no lawyers contact him. It was none of that.
So at what point in time did y'all really realize like the album is not going to happen?
It happened, but we just didn't get the support.
Oh, so
we put it out.
Let me clear this up. Okay, so y'all got the mixtape.
Yeah, we put it out.
Y'all put the mixtape out.
Right.
And y'all approached that like an album. So then the actual album as well, y'all were able to get that out?
No, we didn't get the actual album.
That's what I'm saying. So
yeah, it never happened.
So the actual album, when did y'all realize that album wasn't going to happen at all?
I mean, once the car was out of the mix and everything else, we already knew it was strained and we weren't going to get it. But ironically enough, 2 or 3 months after the album came out, me and Ro ended up talking. Okay. I went to Houston and met with him and we had a good time. We talked. I chilled at his house for a little while and he ended up giving me some songs. We was going to go ahead and put an album out. So we talked about it again. He gave me the songs. I left with the records and all of this stuff. And probably 2 weeks, we talked back and forth. And then it just no more conversation again.
Gotcha, man.
So I'm like, okay, what's going on now? So after that didn't happen, then I just started to make my own moves and, decide to do what I need to do with the records to try to recoup the money back that we spent.
Okay. And so then after this, the first disc come out.
Yeah.
So what was said? Do you remember what was said on that first disc?
I didn't. It was kind of real, kind of slick like. So I really don't remember what it was. Okay. You know what I mean? It was just a little something.
Little jab.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I just kind of looked at it and I was like, all right, man, whatever, bro, nigga. I know it was talking about some cars and whatever. He had a bad deal on the car. He always trying to paint the picture like he got, like I fucked him on the car, did this and that. When he know that ain't even it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got the paperwork, all of the correspondence, everything that we had. So everything that we did do was on the cuff. It was never nothing under the table that was wrong with what we did.
So then he dropped this other song, Going Down. And this time he said your name.
He said my name before.
I said it before. But he got straight to the point on this one. Because I was expecting to listen to the song. It's going to be tucked in or maybe a little bit further in the song. You not even a full minute or so into this song and he dropped it out. He dropped, saying, again, you my man, but you a bitch. So how did that feel? How did you feel when you first heard the first slug?
When I heard the first slug, I was like, all right, my nigga, I'm gonna let this slide. I'm not finna respond to you, dude. Whatever issues you got with me, my number ain't changed. You can holler at me.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not even entertaining shit. You know what I mean? So here it come again, and I'm like, I call his manager, and matter of fact, his manager called me a couple of days before the record came out. because I got a couple of his records on my album, which rightfully so I should. And there was an issue. Hey man, Rose said you don't have the rights to put these records out, and I'm telling the nigga, I said, are you really gonna get on the phone and tell me this shit, bro? All the money I gave this nigga, and you really finna tell me the rights I don't have, and this man didn't turn no album in, bro? You really finna tell me that? So we get off the phone, and my thing is, I've been in business over 27 years, bro. This man will tell you, I handle my business. If somebody put out a record of mine, bro, and I ain't got paid for it, or I ain't clear it, I'm calling the lawyer.
Gotcha.
And it's gonna get took down right then and there. Ain't gonna be no songs being said. Ain't finna be no innuendos about me talking about you. We just finna handle it, and I'm taking it down. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, bro, my song's up. I put them out. You write records about me, talking about I'm stealing from you. Like, you owe me over 100 bands. How do I steal something from you that you gave me? So what I do? Go down your chimney, crack the code on your computer, and take songs off your motherfucking hard drive? So
what is he saying? So is he saying like the songs that you have on your album that's getting ready to come out is out, or on your album that you stole those songs? That's where the stealing part was coming from. Because I was trying to make light or make sense of how can a person who owe money, you know what I'm saying?
No way. We never recouped on anything. The man had people calling me for publishing splits, all kind of shit. I was so 100 about it. I ain't care if the dude got his publishing or not.
Yeah.
If it had been anybody else, they'd been like, what publishing, dude? Ain't no publishing to get. You know what I'm saying? That's what it would have been. The mixtape was a work for hire for a one-time fee, and that was it. It wasn't even supposed to be no breaking, no splits, no nothing. You know what I mean? So it's like, what you talking about? But then, you know what I mean, we caked him up, and I did what I did, and I kept it 100. You know what I mean? I could have been put this out, bro. Like the stuff, I'm still not pushing it all the way out.
Gotcha.
Because if I was to go up all the way 100 with this and put everything out that I have, it ain't no gray areas, bro. And it really ain't no gray areas now when you really understand what I'm saying and the shit that I'm saying, it don't make sense. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
If a person saying that I'm doing this X, Y, and Z, it's easy to get shit taken offline. It's a phone call. Like, and it's nothing.
So like, with your perspective of all of this, like seeing it from your angle, how things played out for you, seeing this?
Well, from a management standpoint, you know, you kind of cautious of situations like this because from a management standpoint, you know the ugly side of this. And with me being in management, I was right there from the very beginning when this deal was put together.
Okay.
And in fact, you know, the money exchanging hands for the mixtape, he was going through a family situation at the time. And it was a very personal family situation. So you would expect that Zero would understand. And so I was on the phone. We were all on the phone when this situation went on. And so because I knew what he was dealing with, I was kind of like, hey, you know what, Lee, you go handle that. I got on the phone with Ro, and I was like, hey, Ro, this is how we can fix this. We're gonna keep this rolling. I'm gonna meet you. We're gonna take care of this money. And boom, when Lee gets back online, he'll finish handling this business. Everything will be everything. And it didn't really go like that, you know? So when I did that, and then I seen how Zero acted, knowing what he was going through at the time, and I'll let, if he wants to explain it, I'll let him explain that, because it is very personal. So for me, it really changed my whole tune and thought of respect for that individual when I seen that whole fallout, because I'm like, man, that ain't what we agreed to. That's not the business we put together. You were paid. You got all of these things. You didn't handle your side of the business. And then you hear about all these diss tracks and you're just like, it's the ugly side of music. It's just the ugly side of the music business, man. So, you know, I hate it for the business, but 20 years of power is online. Please go download and stream that.
No doubt. So if Zero was in the room right now, what would you say to him? And is this repairable?
It's always repairable, man. I'm only saying this and I'm only doing the interviews because my name is constantly coming up.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And I know we live in a world where people can spit a verse, and had a guy on my partner's page, Instagram, man, I know Zero said it twice and it didn't happen. I'm like, you silly ass nigga. Are you serious, bro? You know what I mean? And what he talking about, this how it is, this how personal, this how close I am to this dude. What he talking about is that I had two twin boys that were about to be born. Matter of fact, when Zero came to my house, my wife was rushed to the hospital.
Wow.
Okay, she was like maybe like a little bit over 6 months pregnant with my twin boys. I got two set of twins, and God blessed me to have another set of twins that I have now. And these twins were born early, and I had to rush to the hospital. So my twins died.
Oh wow.
You know what I mean? So in the midst of me going through all of that, I was calling him from the hospital. It's like, yo, did you take care of Ro? You make sure you get his money? Yeah. He didn't really tell me how to do his acting and any of that kind of shit, what was being said until like weeks later. Like the day that I went in there, my first son died at 4:00 the next morning. And then my next son died 2 days after that. So this dude knew I was going through that. He was texting me back and forth. He knew what type of situation I was going through. So it's like for you to sit here and lie for whatever reason that you want to lie about to save your face or whoever it is, you should tell the truth. Even all of the masters that I got from this dude and my contract, the money I gave him, I didn't produce, whatever records I didn't produce, that money that I gave him paid for those masters too. So any producer be like, oh, Mr. Lee took my record, he did this, and I ain't take shit. I own that motherfucker because the masters was turned into me. I had ownership of it. I paid for that. You know what I mean? Whether you got your fees out of it or not, it wasn't my responsibility. You know what I mean? But a lot of people don't really know the business and they look at shit for face value. And once something get thrown out there the wrong way, then, perspectives of things are taken illegitimately. And that's what's going on here. I ain't got no issues with this dude. If we decided to work right now, I'll work with it. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm a grown ass man. I'm a staple in this music business. I'm responsible for a lot of people eating and having food on their plates because of the music that I've done. I don't do this shit for money. Because if it was just for money, it would have been a whole different situation. You know what I mean? I don't do this shit like that. Like when I fuck with Slim and I fuck with Kiki and other people that I deal with, and if I like your music and we family, I treat you that way. I treated him like that. I ain't never put his business out on what he was going through when I gave him the money. He know. You know what I mean? He ain't got to ever say it. He ain't got to admit it. He ain't got to do none of that shit. I'm so 100 with this. I ain't putting this man business out there like that. You know what I mean? I got all type of shit that I could pull out and show what I did. It's proof. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna ever do that unless he put me in a position to do it.
No doubt.
You feel me? So I'm never gonna do that. I'm gonna stick to the code and stick to the laws that I've been abiding by all of these years.
So now you got the album out. Tell me a little bit about the album, man.
Power is an album that reflects the music that I've done over the years. And that's why Zero is on it, because he's part of my legacy. Whether this nigga want to accept it or believe it or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? So back to that. The album is a reflection of all of the 20 years that I've done business. I got Slim on there. I got Zero on there. I got Paul Wall on there. I got a bunch of people on my record. I got J-Dog on there. You know what I mean? So it's just a lot of people that I've worked with over the years. I worked on this album since like 2015.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's been a while, but it's really taken really good. I'm getting a lot of feedback from it. I got Killer Kali on there. I got that boy T on there. GT Garza's on there. Man, it's just, it's a great album. It feels real good. I can listen to it, over and over. I've been getting a lot of praise about it, really.
So I know you said that it's repairable between you and Zero, but is the relationship gonna always be strained for this?
Not for me, it won't, because I'm a forgiving person. Everybody go through things and everybody have their own issues, bro. And that's why I've never from day one ever put this business out about what happened and what situation I was put in. I never disclosed that to nobody. Even when he bashed it on his Twitter and said, don't buy it, and he said bootleg it and all of the stuff that he did, bro, I could have flew off and just, but one thing I know, bro, I know how you react to different shit. I know, his quirks and different shit like that. So it ain't like I don't know him.
Gotcha.
So when he did that, it was like, yeah, I looked at it like, you motherfucker. You know what I mean? But it wasn't enough for me to say, I'm finna drag your name through the mud. Fuck that. I'm finna go ahead and do this shit. Big brothers don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm speaking on this shit in a real type of way, because my name keep coming up. And it seemed like nobody around him could tell him, yo, my nigga, chill out. You know what I mean? Slim had already told, hey, man, I had words with this dude, told him to stop. Chill out, man. You stop with this beef shit.
So if somebody playing devil advocate, if it's your man's and it's something that can be replaceable, why not just pick up the phone and call him?
I've tried it. I've talked to his manager several times. I said, yo, you talked to Ro, what's up? You know what I mean? You gonna call? What he gonna do? What's going on? He's like, well, nah, I talked to the lawyer. I call the lawyer. I don't get no answer from the lawyer either. So I'm just like, okay. Well, if it's an issue and I'm stealing your records or I'm putting them out and I ain't supposed to put them out, nigga, I'm calling your lawyer. What's up?
Got you. So now it's public. How do you think, knowing Zero, what is his response going to be?
I don't know what his response is going to be, but my response is this, man. I got a lot of love for the dude. He's still my family no matter what. But at the end of the day, I'm not here to knock dude. I don't want him to keep knocking me. I don't want to keep being lied on. I don't want to be the one of the pieces of your verses or none of that shit. My nigga, like, we bigger than that. We always been bigger than that. You know what I mean? He can get mad at me, say whatever, do whatever. At the end of the day, you know what I mean? It's still what it is. We still got history with each other. You know what I mean? We been knowing each other before either one of us really got an opportunity to be in this music business. That's why I really led the opportunity that I had was sentimental to me because I knew him like that.
No doubt.
I didn't look at Slim and say, oh, let me give Slim this money for a project. Slim got bread already. You know what I mean? He a made nigga. You know what I mean? Slim's one of the biggest, wealthiest rappers in Texas. So I didn't even look at it like that. You know what I mean? But I probably would have been a better situation if I did.
Man.
Sorry about this, Slim.
Man, well, I hope, this is going to be a the reconciliation between the two of y'all. I mean, I hate that it had to go public, but sometimes that's going to get a person attention, man. And I'm definitely going to check in on Power right now.
Appreciate it, man.
Go ahead and get them streams up.
Yeah, and I got a gospel album coming out too. It's a rap, hip-hop gospel album coming out, and I got another album called Forever. And it's basically going to be records. I started finding records that I produced. Some of them are 17 years old, but they still sound like they're right now. You know what I mean? So I'm doing a record, kind of pop record with a bunch of pop artists on it. I'm trying to find new talent and different stuff like that. So, you know, we got a lot of big things happening, man. Shout out to Music Access. Shout out to Southern Fried Market and Amber and everybody else that's a part of the team that's making everything happen for me, man. JB, my photographer that's hanging around doing different stuff. He rap too, so we're going to be working with him.
Okay.
Drew, and just everybody that's a part of my team.
Okay, man. Well, if you feel like giving out some more money and some Bentleys and not getting no records back, holla at me.
Hell no.
Hey, man. Peace out.